Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's with big savings on the tools you need. Save $100 on the Craftsman V20 6-Tool Power Tool Combo Kit, now at $199. No matter what the project is, Craftsman's high-quality, high-performance products empower you to build on. Stop by your nearest Lowe's store and check out the full line of Craftsman tools today. Valid through 6/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
This is Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Welcome back into Live Bet Saturday as we begin the second hour of the program with you here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. I'm Grace Remington with Will Hill. Busy slate of baseball games today. This is a fun Saturday. Normally, we do not get this much action in the middle of the day, but we lucked out here, Will. Let's get to a couple score updates here. Padres and Braves, they made a late San Diego made a late scratch to the starting pitcher, Michael King. They ended up throwing Sean Reynolds, who has only made 5 appearances this season. He has never started an MLB game. He only ended up going 2 2/3 innings. He allowed 2 earned runs on 6 hits with a strikeout. So sounds like that was just kind of a last-minute adjustment they had to make. But Grant Holmes for the Braves on the other side has given up 1 earned run on 3 hits. 3 strikeouts in 3 innings here. The score, 2-1 Braves in the bottom of the third. And you bet the first 5 under in this one, right, Will?
I did, but I did my prep for the show, and King was good to go. And I guess it was, like you said, maybe few minutes, less than an hour before the game. King got scratched late, shoulder stiffness, slept on it wrong. Doesn't appear to be a long-term issue, but I don't know that I would have bet this. As the Braves get another run here on a cheap infield single. That's 2 runs they have on infield singles. So now it's 3-1. I probably would have stayed away if I didn't know King was pitching. So that's just one. Doing the show, trying to keep track of all these games, late scratch. Can get by you once in a while, and that's probably a bet I wouldn't have made here that I'm regretting. But, I mean, these are soft singles. Machado just couldn't make the play, barehanded it on a soft single. And clean single, they beat it out. I can't tell. It looks like Acuna, who's back, beat it out. So that's one that kind of wish I had back. But Washington, you're in good shape there, leading 2-0 over San Francisco. Seattle, Houston, that's 2-1 Houston right now with Seattle batting. Yankees still lead 1-0 over Colorado. How about Colorado the last few days? They lost 2-0 to Philly on Thursday. They won a 3-2 game last night, and now it's 1-0. So what's usually a very hitter-friendly, offensive-friendly ballpark has really played towards the unders here these last 2.5 games or so.
Very strange. Someone did a rain dance or something in the Rockies' favor, and it took away all the hitting power of that ballpark. So, looking at some of these scores. I mean, my bets, I'm still waiting. Still waiting for the Mariners to score more runs here. Your Reds, first 5 run line looking good here. I need more runs in the Giants-Nationals. I did bet the over in that full game. But we do have 4 games starting in a couple of hours here. So let's get to these 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock games. And we do have confirmation now on that Orioles-Red Sox doubleheader. This one, first pitch thrown at 6:35 Eastern time. So the O's are going to be throwing a lefty, Trevor Rogers, and it looks like this is his season debut. Last year, he was a full-time starter, was sent back down after a season in which he threw a 4.92 ERA, 5.18 expected. Just doesn't look like he has much control here. Low strikeout, high walk rate. So you have that. And then you have Lucas Giolito on the other side, who's also not having the best of years. We have some hitter-friendly weather there in Boston. So what's that lead you to, Will?
Would still be the over. I kind of like Rodgers. He came up during the COVID year. He was really good his first year or two, made an all-star team, looked very promising. But like you said, he's fallen off in the past couple of years. Injuries, diminished velocity, poor control. So he wouldn't keep me off the over. He's at least got the ability. He was their big trade deadline acquisition last year along with Eflin to try to get some pitching. It's still over for me. I don't really love either pitcher, even though I like Rogers more than I probably should. Good hitting environment, playing in Fenway, two good offenses, and over for me. And plus, you got two bullpens here, where look, third game in 2 days. They just played. This is the second game of a doubleheader. They played a Friday afternoon game, so probably some tired arms. Some guys not available here, don't have the usage right in front of me. But third game in 2 days, some bullpen issues. So don't love either starters, tired bullpens, good offenses, good offensive ballpark. I'm over 9.5. I think, these Orioles overs are probably good here. Just going forward, that's a way you want to look, because they have a good lineup. They struggle against lefties, but that's a good lineup, especially against righties, and they just don't have any starting pitching. So over 9.5 is a play for me.
Yeah, looking at Trevor Rogers, you mentioned the velo. It has dropped about 1.5 miles on his four-seamer. So first of all, we don't have any data on him in 2025, obviously, but from 2023 to 2024, the velo on that four-seamer dropped 1.5 miles an hour. The velo on the sinker has also dropped 1 mile an hour. So, and it looks like he throws those two pitches over 50% of the time. Obviously, if your fastballs aren't working, your changeup isn't going to work either. So hard to see, just hard to see it panning out well for him, especially Boston. They can hit lefties. They're top 5 offense in weighted on base average and weighted runs created plus against lefties. So I kind of lean with you here on the over 9.5 in the game 2 of that doubleheader. Let's take a look at Blue Jays Rays. First pitch there, 7:05 Eastern. We have Jose Berrios and Shane Baz. And this one expected to be a little bit closer, at least according to the market. Toronto -105 on the money line. Tampa Bay -115 with a total here of 8.5, juice to the over, -115. You have any plays in this game?
I didn't bet it. Baz is interesting because he was so dominant the first few starts, the first 3-4 weeks of the season. He's been bad since. I think it's last 21 innings, 19 runs a lot. He's just been really hit hard, control issue. So if anything, I was going to play Baz under 4.5 Ks just because I don't like his recent form. I don't love Berrios. These two pitchers both saw these lineups recently, which I do think favors the hitter because you saw the ball, you saw the spin, you saw those pitches. So 9.5 is high for an over. I thought about an over, thought about Toronto. My favorite play of anything, though, is just Baz under 4.5 Ks. And I think you get plus money just because I don't like his recent form. And I like the fact that Toronto's seen him recently. Do you? What are you looking at this game? What do you make of Baz, Berrios, or anything you're looking to play?
Yeah, I like the under 4.5 strikeouts for Shane Baz. I was there in Tampa working in local news when he was called up, and it's a huge bummer seeing these promising prospects come up and everyone's so excited. He only ended up starting 3 games that year, 2021, but did really well. A 2.03 ERA, 2.55 expected. And it hasn't panned out for him. Granted, though, he hasn't gotten a lot of experience. He had 6 starts the following season in 2022, missed all of 2023, made 14 starts last year. So he still has not thrown a full season. And he's only 25. So, there's still time. But like you said, he's getting hit hard. His barrel rate's over 11%. The hard hit rate is up to 45%. Jose Berrios is one of those pitchers. He flip-flops every few years. He's not consistent. He's either really good or really bad. This year, the velo's down on his 3 top pitches, the sinker, slurve, and four-seamer. And his fastballs really aren't effective. So I'm not too excited to back him either. I think you mentioned the over. What I would like to do instead, I'm trying to see if this price is still available. I was thinking the first 5 over 5 at even odds. And right now, I'm only seeing 4.5s that are pretty juicy. Well, it was the right idea. If you can find a first half over 5, I like that. Fading both of these starting pitchers. You have 88 degrees in Tampa, 50% humidity, light winds. blowing out last time I checked, but I would really like to fade both starting pitchers here. Not actually firing on that game, though. What about, we have Dodgers, Mets. I think we can squeeze another game preview in here. They are throwing first pitch at 7:15 Eastern. Dodgers in a rare underdog spot. And this one is getting closer, though. They are even odds, and the Mets are a -120 favorite. Total here of 8.5. You like anything in this one?
Sure. A lot of people are going to say, man, I get plus money on the Dodgers. That's a rare opportunity. I couldn't disagree with that. I think it's an interesting handicap. I'd probably look towards both pitchers out, over, and maybe an over for the game, just with the idea that they played 13 innings last night. I don't know if you watched it. It went till basically at 1:30 in the morning on the East Coast. There was a rain delay. So they had to go into the bullpen's second, third inning to begin with. I think it was like a second inning, really early rain delay. And then you had all those extra innings, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. Nobody could get the ghost runner in. So you got really taxed bullpens here, really taxed bullpens. So over 8.5, I think is a good play. Gonsolin can get hit. He can get hit by lefties. You got some good ones here for the Mets with Lindor and Nimmo and Soto. And the Dodgers are the Dodgers. So over 8.5, I think I like the most of anything.
You know what? I think I'm going to join you there. I was thinking about Dodgers first 5, but yeah, I think I want to fade these starters. I want to fade the bullpens. These offenses have been mashing lately, and the last 3 games between these two teams have totaled 12, 15, and 18 runs. So let's go with the over 8.5 here. By the way, if you are betting baseball, you want to get those bets in early. You want to get them in the morning before the lines move. And you can catch those bets on the VSiN Daily Morning Bets podcast. That's your first look at the day's betting line, sharp action, and market movement. In just 15 minutes, you'll get everything you need to know to make smarter wagers and stay ahead of the line moves, all before your morning coffee's gone. It's hosted by VSiN's team of trusted betting experts. The Daily Morning Bets podcast is fast and focused, built for bettors like you. Listen to the VSiN Daily Morning Bets wherever you get your pods.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome back into Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. I'm Grace Remington with Will Hill, keeping you up to date on a busy day on the baseball diamond. A couple of score updates for you. Washington still leading the Giants, 2-0, top of the 6, no outs. Man, this one started out with those 2 runs in the first inning. I was feeling really good about my over. And, now not so sure. Who would have thunk it? From Jake Irvin, a scoreless 6 innings. Seattle still needs some runs for them. They are trailing the Stros 2-1, top of the 4th, with a man on first, 1 out. The Rangers leading the White Sox 3-0 in the top of the 4th. The man on first and 2 outs. Milwaukee and Pittsburgh are tied at 1 apiece. This Yankees-Colorado game, still so low scoring. The Yankees leading 2-1 in Colorado, top of the 5th there. The Braves leading the Padres 3-1 in the bottom of the 4th. So, Will, your first 5 under still alive there. And Chicago putting a run on the board against Cincinnati. In the bottom of the 4th, the Reds leading 2-1. So I'm pretty sure you bet the first 5 half a run line, correct? So that one still lives.
Which one? Reds, I took a half a run.
The Reds?
In the first 5. So I'm in good shape there. How about this, though? Texas, Chicago, I have under 4.5 first 5. It was 2-0, 2 outs, man on third. Innocent little pop-up fly ball. Inning should be over in the top of the 4th, be in good shape. The guy in Chicago drops it. So not only is a run scored and it's 3-0, but the inning continues. And this never ends well. Anytime you just give away an out on a routine pop-up like this, that could have ended inning, or you just give extra outs, it's asking for trouble. Now Texas steals a base, so they got a man in scoring position looking to add a fourth run. So now I'm going to have to sweat this one out. Not good.
Yeah, baseball, man. Just an unlucky bounce here or there can totally screw you over. But look at your Reds, though. They did have men on the corners. Looks like Will Benson out on a sac fly brings another man home. It was Gavin Lux who scores. So the Reds now leading 3-1 with one out and a man on second. So at least you got that bet still going for you there. But, I actually want to go back to this Dodgers-Mets game because I know you did talk me into the over, but I had written down Dodgers first 5 plus 110. And I was so hyped up by your over that I was like, why didn't I think of that first? What is the reason for my Dodgers first 5 here? Okay, I found it. It's because the Dodgers offense against David Peterson has an expected batting average of 343. And I also want to isolate Tony Gonsolin and not play the Dodgers bullpen because the bullpen has a 5.14 ERA over the last 3 games. So there you go. That helps your over. But I do think, even though this is not the Gonsolin of old, in first 5, he's the better starting pitcher here. So rare we get the Dodgers at plus 110. That is where I would like to bet them.
Makes sense. Again, a lot of bullpen usage yesterday. I think I was doing the show with Matt Humans. The second inning, they rain delay, hour and a half delay, which made for a long night there at Citi Field. So both pitchers were out second inning, and you got the 13 innings with the extras. So you got a ton. You basically saw every arm from both teams. So I don't know, would that urge both of these managers to maybe give a little extra rope, a little extra leash here to the starting pitchers, and you play both pitchers over outs? That makes sense to me. I get wanting the Dodgers at plus money. I certainly understand that. I'll go over 8.5. I think the Mets can hit Gonsolin. Like I said, struggles against lefties. Mets got some good lefties, so that would be an over for me, and would look towards the pitcher outs as well, just because you can't go to your bullpen every night for all of these, for all of these outs. Looks like the Yankees are on the board 2-1. And they're threatening to add more runs here. It looks like second and third here. Can't tell if there's an out, but Yankees with a run across here in the 5th and threatening for more. Yeah,
I like your over in Dodgers Mets as well. That'll be a good one. We haven't talked about the Guardians and Tigers yet. Right now, the A's plus 150 on the money line at Caesars, and the Phillies minus 162. This total, make sure you shop around. I'm seeing some 9.5s, mostly 10s though. It looks like we are moving that way. The over 9.5. The only place I see it right now is ESPN Bet, and it's juiced to the over minus 125. Any leans in this game, Will?
Be Phillies or nothing. And if you took the Phillies minus the 1.5 last night, that was a tough beat because it was 4-0 in the 9th. And then I think it was Romano got into trouble, gave up a 3-run homer to Kurtz, and then the game lands 4-3. I can't back the A's. The A's bullpen's been a mess. And Mason Miller, who's outstanding, throws 104, 105 miles an hour, basically unhittable. Well, he hasn't been unhittable lately. A lot of the runs last night were off of Miller. I'm not sure if he's available. I'm not sure you want him available the way he's pitching. He's been bad. So it'd be Phillies or nothing. Phillies are really hot right now. Yeah, some of it's against the A's and the Rockies, some lesser competition, but they are making a charge here in the NL East, and it'd be them or nothing for me. Wouldn't mind a Phillies team total over, too, in that small little ballpark, hot weather. You're good about having the ballpark conditions in front of you. The conditions are pretty much always favorable to the offense. You get the 9 at-bats with the Phillies being the road team, so Phillies team total over might not be a bad idea either.
Yeah, I rarely bet overs. I guess we are in the part of the year, late May to through August, I guess, where you're seeing a lot of high-scoring games. I like the over in this game, too. And look, the 10th run in baseball is always the hardest run to get. So I would rather just play that over 10 and I guess settle for the push. I would rather play the over 10 at -110 than the over 9.5 at -125. But yeah, looking at these ballpark conditions here, 77 degrees at first pitch with 11-mile-an-hour winds blowing out to left center field. You have two lefties on the mound here, Christopher Sanchez and Jeffrey Springs, who Chris Sanchez, his strikeout rate is almost up to 29%, which is much higher than his career average, which is 22.3, and that's about major league average. So I do wonder if that'll come back down to earth. Does look like, though, his 3.10 ERA is legit. That's exactly what his expected is, but his FIP is a little bit higher, 3.54. Jeffrey Springs also looks like what he's put out there is legit as well, a 3.90 actual ERA and expected. But these two offenses are top 5 and 6 in weighted on base average and weighted runs created plus. So they can hit lefties. The weather looks really good for hitting. So I think I would go with the over 10 here. You said the Phillies team total, it is 5.5. The over is -115. That could work too. But yeah, okay. So we're calling for a lot of runs in this game. Somehow I said Guardians Tigers and then completely forgot to talk about it. So let's go back to that one. The Guardians +120 on the money line here, and the Tigers -142, a home favorite. We have Luis Ortiz against Casey Mize. What do you think about this one?
Under or nothing for me. If you can get a 4.5 in the first 5, which I think you can pay a little juice, that would be the way I would go. I don't like the Cleveland bats. Detroit's had a really good season, but they have they've come back down to earth here this last week or so. Been shut down the past couple nights against Bybee, and who pitched against them last night? I think it was Slade Ciccone pitched a good game against him. So the bats have been quiet for Detroit. The bats aren't good for Cleveland. Two okay starting pitchers, and it's Mize and Ortiz. So under 4.5 first 5 would be a play for me.
I was looking that way too, except I saw the under 8 at +100, and you can get the under 8.5 +100 at Caesars. I think this is just, I'm going on the model here. Sometimes I just blindly bet projections because that's just a whole lot easier to do. And this game is projected at 7.7 runs. So that's when you're getting plus odds on the under, that's a nice little edge. Looks like Casey Mize, what we're seeing is legit though. 2.53 ERA, a 2.67 expected. The 90% strand rate is a little sus. But he's gotten his strikeout rate up a few percentage points higher than his career average, and it's because the whiff rate on his splitter is up. He was able to increase the velo on his splitter over 2 miles an hour, which is really impressive when you missed a whole season due to injury. So I'll side with you on this one. I'll take the under 8.5, and I like that first 5 under 4.5 as well. All right, coming up next, I keep saying NBA. We do have an NBA playoff game today. Let's finally get into that one. This is Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Welcome back into Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. I'm Grace Remington with Will Hill, keeping you updated on all of today's baseball games. So let's get into some of these scores. Will, you were taking an interesting approach with the Rockies today. Sounded like a great bet. I thought it was a great bet. But sometimes the Yankees are just going to Yankee. They score 7 runs in the top of the 5th, and it's still not over. Kyle Freeland does not make it out of the 5th. He goes 4 2/3 innings, allowing 4 earned runs on 9 hits, 3 strikeouts. So they still have to label the rest of those runs there. But yeah, tough inning there. Now the Yankees lead 8-1 on the Rockies. But I thought your +4 run line was a creative approach.
what's the saying? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You bet the Rockies you get what you deserve. I thought the +4 was decent look too, and it was a moment ago. It was 1-1, and Rockies had a man on third looking to take the lead, and before you can blink, it's 8-1. Some bad defense. I know that Freeland threw a ball away that really set up a big inning, but yeah, Rockies are just for a moment we were not they didn't look like a 9-42 team. They won last night. They were 1-1 with the Yankees. They looked like a respectable team, and then they remembered they were the Rockies. They reminded us they were the Rockies, and now it's 8-1 Yankees with the Yankees still batting here.
Yeah, we were talking about how Kyle Freeland could be a good pitcher if he played for any other team. It's so hard to say. If I were a pitcher, I don't know why anyone would willingly play 9 seasons in Colorado. But he seems to be passionate about the team in the area, so I mean, teach their own. Good for him. But coming into this game, his expected ERA was actually his best in the last 4 years, and it was his xFIP was the lowest of his career. Obviously, that's going to change today. But I'm looking at his home and away splits too. Actually, let me pull up his career here instead of just 2025. Obviously, it's going to be better away. I mean, this is at home this season, a 420 weighted on base average allowed. Away, it's 298. Like, I just feel so bad for these guys who are pitching in Colorado. When you look career-wise, it's actually, there's a difference. 487 ERA at home, 419 away. But still, gosh, Rockies are just an unfortunate situation when he's their best player. And then even their prospect, Chase Dollander, I feel like they're going to ruin him.
Yeah, he's good too. He could be good. He was really good in college at Tennessee. He had a couple of impressive outings before he just got hurt recently. So as bad as the Rockies are, the Rockies have gotten worse in the last week with one of their better pitchers going on the IL. It's just a bad team, bad situation. Looked like the Yankees scored again with Goldschmidt with a base hit. So an old 8-run inning here for the Yankees. They are still batting.
Man. Couple other score updates for you. The Brewers and Pirates still tied up at 1-1 in the mid-6th. Nationals leading the Giants 2-0 in the bottom of the 7th. That live total down to 3.5. That is wild. Not what we would have expected from Jake Irvin, and who was going for the Giants? I know we didn't like him. It was Kyle Harrison, who was making his first start of the season. So you know what? Let me pull up the box score here because I'm actually curious how deep he went. So they kept him out there for 4 innings. He allowed 2 earned runs on 5 hits, 4 strikeouts. So that's interesting. Jake Irvin, though, look at him go. 7 shutout innings, and he goes over the K prop. What?
I know. He's due for regression. It's not coming today. I don't know if I buy this Giants team. Giants were off to a really good start, but I could see them coming back to the pack. That's not a lineup I love. I know Webb's good, but that's just, and Ray's been pretty good for them. And I don't love their lineup, and they're just getting shut down today by Irvin. And that was strange too. 2 runs right away for the Nats. I think James Wood hit a homer, and it's been 5-6 scoreless innings here. So we're still sitting on a 2-0.
This is interesting. I'm comparing the season-long stats for the Giants offense compared to just the month of May. For the season, they're about average, but in the month of May, they rank 8th in weighted on-base average, 10th in weighted runs created plus. So I guess it's even more impressive for Jake Irvin that, shuts down a somewhat surging offense there. But Reds, so you win your bet here. Reds leading 5-1 in the bottom of the 5th. Well done with that one. Pods Braves, we have reached the end of the 5th. Atlanta leading 3-1. Did you have a bet on that one? You had the under.
Under 4.5 in the first 5. We survived.
All right, let's go.
Despite the fact that King got scratched without me realizing it, I still bet it, and we get home. Yeah. So 3-1 Braves after 5. Under 4.5 gets home. Unfortunately, Texas, Chicago under 4.5 is a loser in the first 5 because Texas dropped the pop-up, and that's probably going to be the deciding run. I'm just rooting for another run to be scored, so that's not the reason I lost it. But Cincy up 5-1, as you mentioned. Yankees, it looks like, just scored again. Is that 11-1? So Judge is batting for the second time in this inning. I don't know if you realize this, Grace. The Rockies are not good.
No, I did not realize it. Never. They're not even at 10 wins yet, are they?
No.
Gosh, this is so sad. 9-42.
I saw a stat too. They're 9-42. The Dodgers won their 9th game, I believe, on April 9th, and the Rockies have 9 wins right now.
This is so sad. Yeah, the fact that you found a +4 run line at -150, and they still couldn't hit it. I don't know what to do with this team anymore. It's just ugly. I'm sure we'll find more creative ways to fade them as the season goes on. But I do want to squeeze in some hoops here because we have been teasing it, haven't been able to get to it yet. But we have OKC Minnesota Game 3 tonight. The Thunder up 2-0 in the series and now a 3-point favorite on the road. This line movement has been interesting. It seems the market can't decide on what to do with this key number of three because we're reaching 2.5 on either side here. The total 218.5. That's been bet up 1 point. But do you have any bets on this game?
I like OKC on the money line. I just think this is tough for Minnesota. It seems like that matchup with Denver, and we were sitting here doing the show last week against Denver. They're in Game 7. If they lose, they're done. They're down 21-10. They look tight. They look young. It seems like that series put a little hair on their chest where they've grown up now. And the 2 games against Minnesota, they haven't even played great, and they won in dominant fashion. Now, we've seen these series, they can change once you switch venues. You go home, a team is motivated and focused and all of those things. And Minnesota's probably due to shoot the 3 better, 15 of 51 in Game 1. I think 13 of 39, 12 of 39, 38%, 28% in Game 2. So they have not shot the 3 well. But OKC was 9 of 33 from 3 in Game 2, so they can shoot better. I just think Minnesota's too turnover prone. OKC is good at forcing turnovers and turning those turnovers into instant offense. I think OKC wins. I wouldn't be shocked. I said this before Game 2, I think. I wouldn't be shocked if OKC doesn't lose a game the rest of the season. Now, look, they're a 2.5-point favorite tonight. Wow. They could easily lose tonight. I get that. But I think OKC is going to be holding up the trophy here in a couple of weeks, as the market expects. They're minus 300 to win the whole thing. I think that's a pretty safe bet. I know most people don't want to lay minus 300, barring injury. I don't see how they don't win the championship. So it's OKC for me. And I like the over. I think both teams will shoot the 3 better. I think the 218 could be a little light there based on the fact that Minnesota is definitely going to shoot the 3 better, you would think. Not definitely, but you would think they'll shoot the 3 better at home. And OKC can even shoot a little bit better. So over 218 and OKC is where I'm leaning. If you, what are you looking at in this game, if anything?
Well, you mentioned 2 things, turnovers and 3-point shooting. So obviously OKC's ability to pressure and force turnovers here has been the story. Regular season, they were forcing 17 turnovers a game. In the playoffs, they're even better. It's now 18 turnovers a game. Minnesota has allowed 53 points off of those turnovers in the last 2 games. So obviously have to clean that up. And then you mentioned the bad 3-point shooting. Zach Cohen provided these expected scores in his Game 3 write-up. The expected score in Game 1 was 111 to 106. The actual score was 114 to 86. The expected score in Game 2 actually had the T-Wolves winning 116 to 113. So basically what all that says is Minnesota is getting good looks. They're just not making them. And we've seen them shoot less than 30% from deep in back-to-back games now. I would like to think that heading home, that helps them a little bit. And then part of this, too, is the regression. Part of the shooting regression, at least on OKC's side, could come from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the whistle, because he went to the line 15 times in Game 1, 14 times in Game 2. Coming into this series, he had shot double-digit free throws in only 4 playoff games. So now you got to deal with the Minnesota home refs. I don't think the whistle will be as friendly for him. But more thoughts on that game. We'll get that next on Live Bet Saturday here on VSiN.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, You know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked #1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years and #2 among public universities for employability. ASU isn't just ahead of the curve, it's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online, that's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
This is Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Welcome back into Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. I'm Grace Remington with Will Hill, keeping you up to date on all the baseball games on today's slate and talking a little NBA and NHL playoffs as well. Quick update here on the MLB scoreboard. The Brewers and Pirates, still a low-scoring game, tied at 1-1 in the top of the 7th. Milwaukee, though, has runners on the corners with 1 out, so looking to do damage there. The Nationals leading the Giants 3-0 in the middle of the 8th. The Cubs and Reds. Will cashed this bet. He had the Reds on the first 5 run line. Right now they are leading 6-1 in the bottom of the 5th. Still not out of that inning yet. They have a man on first with 2 outs. Padres and Braves, another game we've been tracking here. Atlanta up 3-1 on San Diego, mid-6. The Mariners and Stros just ended the 5th inning with Houston up 2-1. I was able to get the Mariners on the money line plus 110. So rooting for a few more runs from Seattle here, but so far no earned runs charged to Brian Wu. He did allow a run on an error, though. I guess that doesn't factor into his pitching stats, but he goes 5 innings, no earned runs allowed on 8 hits, 5 strikeouts. So it does kind of look like the start we expected from him. Just need a bit more runs from Seattle. And Will, good news for you. You officially did not lose your Texas White Sox under, first 5 under, on the error because they just scored a run on an RBI single. So you just lost it fair and square. So do you feel any better now?
Moderately.
It's better than losing on an error.
Yes, it is.
Okay, you're not doing well. You have a winning record today, though, in this afternoon slate. So this one, we can just toss it.
Yeah, and that was a tough one, though. That was pretty low scoring up until the 4th. It was 1-0 going into the 4th, and under 4.5, you got to feel pretty good about that. But hey, they play all 5 innings. I should probably just listen to my own advice. I've been mentioning how I like to play the first 3 unders when I like the unders, so I probably should have just stuck with that. And then Seattle, Houston was a perfect example, and not a perfect example. Vic going the other way, where it's 2-1 after I think 2 innings. That first 3 goes over, but nobody scores since. So you can win or lose playing either way, but I do think there's an edge there sometimes playing those first 3 unders, just because you don't see that lineup for the most part the second time through. You just go through the order once, and a lot of times it's 1-0 or 1-1 after 3, and you can cash and just get in, get out.
Baseball is a weird sport. I know we've talked about your first 3 unders before. So you're essentially just backing the starting pitchers their first and second time through the order. Is that basically what that is?
Yeah, and if you go 9 up, 9 down, you don't even see the lineup the second time. Obviously, that's unusual, but you don't see most of the lineup the second time at least, and you just chop off 2 innings and you trade like a run or a run and a half. But I think that's a fair trade-off to only play the first 3. And the pitchers are they're sharper, they're fresh. Hitters haven't seen them, and then you get in, you get out. I just noticing these scores, just checking the box scores every day, and eyeing the scores. I have noticed anytime you get 2 good starting pitchers, last night Skeens versus Peralta, when it's a low total, when it's a good pitching matchup, so often it's 1-0 after 3, and you cash, and then you know what, if the bullpens blow up or somebody has a bad inning going forward, it's of no consequence. So I do think that's a good way to play it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to start looking into those first 3 more. I really like that angle. We're going to get into the later baseball games in just a bit. We haven't mentioned hockey yet today, so I do want to get there. We have Game 3 between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Florida Panthers. The Panthers leading this series 2-0, and getting out of any 2-0 hole is hard enough, but the Panthers do not have history on their side because they have lost 14 straight conference final games. So really tough spot for them to be in. Their fans waiting to get over the hump here, but it is difficult. And their goalie not helping them. Remember last week, Freddie Anderson was one of the shorter favorites to win the Conn Smythe. I believe he had the 4th shortest odds. But in the first 2 games of this series, his save percentage is down to 75%. He's only stopped 27 of 36 shots. He was even pulled in Game 2 for the backup goaltender. On the other side, you have Sergei Bobrovsky, who is seemingly getting better as the playoffs go on. He has stopped 64 of the last 67 shots faced. The thing that could be working in the Canes' way is the Panthers could be shorthanded tonight with Sam Reinhart. He left with an injury in the latest game. But the Canes have proven that they can win on the road. They've gone 3-2 on the road in the playoffs. So I want to give a few bets out here from our resident hockey expert, Jonathan Davis. You can find his daily write-ups over on vsin.com, and they are always excellent. Looking at the one for today, I mean, this is one game, right? One game, and yet there are probably 20 bets he has listed out here. And it's always fascinating to me how he is playing some of these line mates off each other. So some of the most intriguing bets he lists here to me are, we're betting Bob, Sergei Bobrovsky over 24.5 saves at -125. He has the Panthers team total over 3 at -105. That looks like his biggest play of the day. He's putting a full unit on that. He's also playing their alt, the Panthers team total over 3.5 at +140. Also has a Carter Verhaeghe anytime goal here at +250. So if Reinert is limited or not going at all, that obviously helps Verhaeghe's chances of scoring. So head over to vsin.com, read Jonathan Davis daily hockey write-ups. They are always so helpful. And we can take a peek at the betting splits over on vsin.com as well to see where the money is going. Looking at the DraftKings betting splits for this game, looks like everyone likes the over 5.5. 76% of the bets and handle are on the over, and everyone is laying it with the Panthers on the puck line. They're also laying the -142 with the Panthers on the money line. 77% of the bets, 70% of the handle on Florida. But let's take a gander at the action at Circa just to be sure. See, and I knew it. I knew this would happen. So the total looking a lot different here. The folks at Circa, or the clients at Circa, like the under. 56% of the bets, 80% of the handle on the under 5.5. However, it looks like the bettors here also like the Panthers. 77% of the bets, 98% of the handle on the Panthers money line to win this game. If you have not signed up for vsin.com yet, you really need to, just to use those betting splits, because unlike other sources, our betting splits come straight from Circa and DraftKings Sportsbook. So you're getting insight on where the sharp action is landing. Circa is known for taking the big bets from professional bettors, while DraftKings provides a broader market perspective. That means you're getting the real action, not just the public money, but the kind of wagers that actually move lines. You can see the percentage of the bets versus the percentage of the handle, which I just read to you. You can see them on every game across every major sport, helping you make smarter, more informed bets. Get VSiN's exclusive betting splits for as little as $9.99 for your first month at vsin.com/subscribe. Again, that's vsin.com/subscribe. Just for good measure here, I wanted to include this earlier. Let's take a look at what the betting splits look like for tonight's NBA game, because we have seen that spread kind of toggle back and forth from 2.5 and 3. So, and again, this is so helpful. So at DraftKings, known as the more public book, 64% of the bets, 69% of the handle is on the Thunder -3. However, you go over to the Circa, which is where the respected bettors play, 54% of the bets on the Thunder, and yet the majority of the handle is on the T-Wolves +3. So, Will, what do you think about that? That it seems the respected money likes Minnesota in this one.
Yeah, and I wonder what because the betting splits don't always tell you, and it can be valuable. It doesn't always tell you what bet came in on. Because I know, like, DraftKings opened Oklahoma City -4, so I'm sure some of this handle is bettors just saying, oh, +4 is too many points, which I agreed with too. I was surprised it opened 4. So sometimes it's not just who's betting what, it's what number they're betting on. So I wonder if some of that was on some earlier numbers here with Minnesota, which opened 4, which again, I thought was surprising and a touch high. And I think the market has agreed as we're seeing 2.5, 3 more the consensus here.
Right. It is helpful to know at which number those bets did come in. I used to have a membership that showed me exactly which book the bet came in on and at what number and the exact time of day. But that subscription was very expensive. So instead, I will use the VSiN betting splits. And it still is, I think it's still valuable to know that the heavy majority at DraftKings is on the Thunder, and then it's very much more evenly split at Circa. Even that is some telling information. All right, coming up next, we start a new hour of Live Bet Saturday. We'll get back into some baseball. This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.